After Nassourdine Imavov secured a knockout victory over Israel Adesanya, he stated that he believes he has earned the next middleweight title shot. However, at the post-fight press conference, Dana White suggested that a potential matchup between Imavov and Khamzat Chimaev could be next. Dana White also addressed Conor McGregor's potential return to the UFC, stating there is no clear timeline for his comeback.
What's the question?
Would you ever put Nassourdine Imavov versus Khamzat for a #1 contender fight? I spoke to Nassourdine backstage. He didn't want to answer that question. He said that he's waiting for the winner of Dricus versus Strickland.
Who doesn't want to answer the question? Imavov?
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I mean, the fight just happened 30 minutes ago. I don't know what we're going to do yet, but there's lots of possibilities. And yes, that's definitely one of them. I thought Izzy looked incredible right up until he got caught. Looked good. Was picking him apart, staying on the outside. Takedown defense was incredible. Chopping that calf kick, the whole first round. He couldn't have had a better first round, and then he got caught.
Do you feel it's one of those things where, he got caught, or is it one of those things where, age might be catching up to him, he might be slowing down? Which one do you think it could be?
Listen, getting caught is getting caught. He's 35. Imavov is 28 years old. He's in his prime.
That said, it was an amazing first round. Anyone trying to count out Israel as being competitive in this division is probably incorrect at this point.
I agree. No, he looked incredible. I mean, you couldn't have fought a better first round than he did.
Any news about Conor? Is he coming back soon?
Conor?
Yeah.
Not sure when Conor will be back.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Shara Bullet reflects on his unanimous decision loss to Michael Venom Page yesterday. He claims he fought with a quote-unquote nightmarish health condition. Shara issued the following statement on his Instagram. It reads, "The pirate sails into the harbor, but I will return. I knew all the risk. Stepping in there with such a nightmarish health condition and preparation, I felt that despite everything, I could still win, but it didn't work out, and that's it. Thank you to the UFC organization for this opportunity, and to everyone involved. I wanted to put on a show and meet expectations without canceling the fight. Thank you to everyone who stands by me in any situation." Michael Bisping believes Israel Adesanya's reign at the top has come to an end following his loss to Nassourdine Imavov. Izzy has now suffered 3 consecutive defeats and has won just 1 out of his last 5 fights. During the post-fight show, Bisping stated, "The biggest takeaway is that it's over. Israel Adesanya's reign as a champion I don't think will come again. I say that with the greatest respect, and I truly mean that. An incredible fighter, a legend of the sport, a future Hall of Famer, but his time at the top is done. The career that he's had is legendary, but more importantly, the man's an original. The man is unique. Yes, we've seen great kickboxers and we'll see more great kickboxers, but the people that have the flair, the charisma, did they put on the show that Israel Adesanya does? From the walkouts to the post-fight speeches that we saw when he beat Alex Pereira, and that gave you chills. I will never forget that. Everybody remembers watching that for the first time, doing the breakdancing on the way out, the whole light show and all the rest of it. Yeah, okay, the knockouts are memorable, they're incredible, they're amazing, right? When you combine it with everything else, I mean, the man's an absolute superstar. He really is. Of course, the second best middleweight of all time, without a shadow of a doubt. He'll say the #1, but that's what we do. We're fighters. We'll always say that we're #1. A long career at the highest level has a lot of wear and tear on the body, and not just the fights. The training camps are worse than the fights. A fight is won, and you might go out there. We've seen Israel Adesanya just destroy people, use the leg kicks, just pimp them, beat them easily. But that doesn't happen in the training camp. Otherwise, you don't improve, you get worse, you build bad habits, you need to be getting pushed and get people taking you down, wrestling you, ground and pounding you, choking you out, you're tweaking ankles and legs, you're taking punches on the chin. When you do this at the highest level, you train accordingly. That's what takes a toll on the body. Yeah, he's taking some lumps and bumps inside of the octagon. He took one tonight, but that combined with the years and years of training to get to this level, that's the problem. That's the issue. Nassourdine Imavov remains adamant that he deserves the next middleweight title shot following his knockout victory over Israel. Nassourdine says he has cleaned out the middleweight division, further solidifying his case as the next title challenger.
Once it was done, it was mission accomplished. Honestly, I said all week long, I said it was another fight. And for me, I have really felt like it was another fight.
Ouais, bien sûr. Bien sûr.
Yeah, of course it's going to be something big. I mean, it's going to kind of explode, the social network, the media. But, you know, I'm always surrounded by my family, my close ones, so that thing's not going to change.
Le meilleur, je pense que là, on est au max.
I think we are at the max. I just finished striking, the best striker in the UFC. I've done what no one have done before, so done the max.
Ça, qu'est-ce que c'était?
In one way, I wanted to prove also that I have my seat between the best striker in the UFC. I've been started by boxing. I have a very good striking, and it was the chance for me to prove it.
Bien sûr. Bien sûr.
Of course, I've been cleaning the division. 4 fights in 1 year, 2 top 5 by finishes, 2 top 10. I think I deserve the belt.
Daniel Cormier thinks Islam Makhachev might be underestimating the challenge of going up to 185 to fight Dricus. Islam currently competes at 155. Islam wants to be a 2-division champ and avoid fighting his buddy Belal Muhammad, the welterweight champ. Recently, Islam and Dricus have been exchanging words, with Islam confident he can beat Dricus after studying his style. Dricus, on the other hand, says his size and strength would be too much for Islam. DC points out that while Islam cuts a lot of weight to make 155, he probably doesn't weigh more than 185 outside of camp. However, Dricus walks around at 220 pounds, so that's a huge size difference.
Dricus du Plessis, it's time for us to stop doubting him. I mean, at some point we got to respect him, right? I know it may not look as appealing to some as they want their world champions to look. But we just watched him submit Israel Adesanya. We just watched him break him down over the course of 3 rounds and get him to a point where Izzy got submitted by him, something we'd never seen before. We have seen him beat Sean Strickland. We have seen him finish Robert Whittaker. At some point, we have to respect Dricus du Plessis. I think Islam respects him. I don't know that Islam would understand how hard it would be to fight a guy of that size. I think this guy might weigh 220 when he's not making weight. You know, many people talk about the amount of weight that the Russians cut. And Islam cuts weight to make 155. But I don't know that even on his heaviest days, he weighs 185. Now, I'm not saying that I don't think that he can do it. I just think that it's much harder than I think anyone understands to go up 2 weight classes. Pereira did it at 185 to 205. But even the fact that we talk about him going up to heavyweight, it's kind of crazy. Now, I get he has skills, but that would be very, very tough. And I believe he can do anything. You guys know how much I respect Makhachev. And I think he can do anything that he sets his mind to. But that ask is so big. Because again, Dricus has to weigh 215, 220. Dricus could never make lightweight. Never. I don't know the last time he weighed 155. So guys, I don't know what would happen. But I do know that there are weight classes for a reason, guys.
Israel Adesanya has responded in a nonchalant way to his KO loss to Nassourdine Imavov this past weekend. He posted this on his Instagram. He wrote, "As real as it gets, rolled the dice, snake eyes, I'll be back, gonna get some milk."
From Adesanya. Chopping the legs early in round 2.
Chopped up. Fine. You okay?
Because he already just rested from the thing.
Straight back to work.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, fair game. Fair game. Fuck. Niggas doing the fucking stripper splits.
One shot to kill a legend. That was unbelievable.
Adesanya's not happy though.
I'm still alive.
What a moment in the career.
Oh, yeah, pops. Seconds. Oh, that's how the game goes.
During the UFC post-fight show, Izzy said, "Disappointed. I hate disappointing my fans and my team. My team's still proud of me for the work that I put into this. It's just a thrill and agony. I don't think it's for them to know. You have to be really in it to know. Like, only a privileged few will ever get to this point and understand. To be able to feel something so great, but also able to feel something so deep and so frustrating. It's a lovely game, but it's a stupid game at the same time. He must be excited to beat a guy like me. But again, I felt good round one. I was in control of everything. In hindsight, maybe I should have taken some time. I just didn't want him to rest because I knew he was tired. I didn't want him to rest. But again, hindsight is 2020. I don't know what's next. I have to chill and then think about things. I'll relax for a little bit, just help the teammates who have fights coming up and see what I want to do. I was going to do that anyway, but now I'm forced to. Shout out to Nassourdine for that. Sean Strickland responds to criticism from MMA fans. Fans have criticized Sean for promoting himself as a fighter who will approach bouts aggressively like a killer, but his in-fight performance often contrasts with that image. Sean faces significant criticism for relying heavily on jabs and teep kicks in his fights, with fans expressing disappointment over his style. In an interview with Brett Okamoto, Sean explains why he fights this way. He said,
When you're fighting world-class fighters, like we got Johnny Eblen out of Bellator here. You watch me and Johnny fight, and it's a fucking chess match. Like you're fighting, it's like world-class level of striking meets world-class level of striking. You go watch the pinnacle of any sport, and you're like, well, why is it different? Because I'm fighting the very best. So you bring a guy in here that, like, you bring anybody who's not a top world champion, and it's easy peasy, but you bring in an elite level striker who's been training their entire life for this moment, it is a chess match.
For sure.
4-ounce gloves with a cage, it is a little bit harder to see, but I mean, there's a reason why every time I've lost a decision, the guy's face looks like he's been hit by a truck and I might have a black eye or a scratch.
Michael Venom Page has shared his idea of going up in weight class, naming Jiri Prochazka as a potential opponent. MVP joined the UFC in the welterweight division, beating Kevin Holland in his debut, then losing a decision to Ian Gary. MVP then went up to middleweight, where he defeated Shara Bullet by unanimous decision this past weekend. MVP now aims for an even greater challenge by stepping up to light heavyweight. He went on to say, "I'm the kind of person that would move up another division and fight someone like Jiri Prochazka because it's an exciting fight. The most spins ever, the most spins, like 2 tornadoes clashing. I've said it from the beginning that I want to make a lot of noise. I haven't got the highlight that I've wanted just yet, but if I can keep getting these exciting matchups, then why not?" And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos.